go live on TikTok. Earbuds in and going live. Let's go. Square up these phones a little bit. The TikTok phone is way super zoomed in, and the YouTube phone is the opposite, so that's always great. All right, let's go. Welcome back, everybody. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We're doing this every single day at 9 p.m. to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make it a little bit easier to practice that consistency. All right, we're going to put ourselves through a whole bunch of stuff here, and I hope you have some fun while we do it. All right, my floor is getting progressively more slippery. I purchased a whole bunch of these gray floor tiles to exercise on and to protect the floor. But whatever coating they put on this from the manufacturer, it just keeps on leaving a tiny little bit of invisible residue, like scentless residue, that makes the floor extra slippery. Like, how many floors do you know you can do this on? This is crazy, right? Anyways, I'm gonna have to be a little extra careful. I had all the tiles down for this morning's live because I was like, ooh, a big comfy place to exercise. But I'll just have to be careful and we'll see how this goes. Cool. All right, let's get into our actual workout. We're gonna do some hip cars. This is not a show where we just go slide from side to side and do stuff like that. We are working on our hip mobility and side splits. All right. The first thing we're gonna do is warm up. What I want you to do is hip cars. CAR stands for controlled articulated rotations. And what that means is we're going to lift our knee up as high as we can. Then we're going to open up that leg directly to the side. We're going to pause here for a second. Then we're going to lift the knee a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Then we're going to rotate the leg so that the knee is pointed forward. The ankle is coming up. The ankle is hidden behind the knee. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. Right? From there, ooh, super slippery. We're going to rotate the knee down some more. We're going to lift the ankle up even higher. Lift, 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 lift. Then we're going to bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel the stretch in your hip flexor. That is one rep. Hello, Chevelle. Hello, Sharath. Whew, let's go. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side. We're going to do 10 of these on the right side. And that's going to be the first half of our hip cars. Let's do this. Stand up nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight. And I think that's Che. Welcome, welcome. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. I'm way off balance. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. If you're also off balance, hold on to something. Grab the wall. Grab a bookcase. Just try not to knock it over if you can. And let's keep going. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. I think that's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew. Those are some hip cars. If your hamstrings are feeling real tight right away, that's okay. That's normal. Don't worry about it. We're going to do the other leg. Let's go. Core nice and tight. Lift that leg up directly in front. And let's begin. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five. Keep going. Lift the knees a little bit higher. Rotate a little deeper. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. Three more. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. Two more. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Oh, I'm off balance. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew. Ah. That is two sets of hip cars going forward. We're going to pause for a second. We're going to do a little shake. We're going to do a little wiggle. Let the muscles relax a little bit. Then we're going to go in reverse. All right. When we go in reverse, pretty much all the same positions we're going to get right back into, but we do them backwards, right? So the first thing we're going to do is bring that leg down and back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch in the hip flexor. We're going to lift that leg up to the side so that your ankle and your knee are about the same height. We're going to rotate the leg so that the knee is down, the ankle is up. We're going to rotate the other way so the ankle is down, the knee is up. We're going to finish by bringing the knee forward. That's one rep, all right? Then we restart the whole thing, and we go from here. We bring the leg down and back again, all right? 10 on the left side, 10 on the right side. I'm going to face you so it's easier to mirror. Let's do this. Whew, man, I'm out of breath and I'm sweating. Let's go. Standing leg nice and strong, core nice and tight, leg back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's four. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's five. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's six. Keep going. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's seven. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's eight. We got two left. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's nine. Last one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 10. Whew. If your hips are tired, that is a good sign you're doing things right. Right? The goal here is to move your legs, bring it through as much range of motion where your muscles are going to be the weakest. Hang out there for a second, force those muscles to contract so that you can build some strength while you're working on your mobility. Right? Whew. We got one last leg. Let's do this. Let me fix my glasses for the 10,000th millionth time, and let's do it. Bring that leg down and back. Lift to the side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. Keep going. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's four. Try your best to keep your body relatively stable and have as much motion coming from this leg rotating in the hip socket as possible. I think that's five. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's six. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's seven. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's eight. My hamstring just crammed up a little bit. Oh, give me a second. Whew. All right, let's keep going. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's nine. Last one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 10. Whew. Those are our hip curls. That's the first warm up exercise. Take a breath, chill, grab a sip of water if you need it, and we're going to move on into warm up exercise number two. All right. I want you to slowly fold at the hips, bring your belly button down towards the ground. Whee! Come on down. Try your best to relax. All right. If you have a tight low back, you've been sitting all day, and it's trying to keep you from relaxing, just chill. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. We're not trying to push ourselves deep right now. We're just chilling. We're just relaxing. We're just letting loose and flopping. All right. From here, we're gonna add a little bit of movement. All right. Warm up exercise number two is called the elephant walk. That means we gotta do something that kind of looks like walking. We're gonna bend one knee. We're gonna straighten out one leg. We're gonna fold the belly buttons down towards the ground. All right. Then we're gonna switch. Other knee. Other knee. Other knee. Experiment with how wide the legs are. You'll feel more or less comfortable at certain angles, and that's totally normal. That's okay. Find those angles and continue. All right. You want to feel a nice deep stretch in your hamstrings. It's going to feel a little different on each leg because only one leg is bent at a time. So that's normal. And what else? There's no real fixed number that we're going to do for these. Just keep going. Hopefully find that your hamstrings are feeling a little bit more relaxed and try to push a little deeper into that fold. All right? Whew. In the meantime, while you do a whole bunch of these, I'm going to tell you about what the show is about. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're not in the Eastern Time zone, I think we started like 10 minutes ago. So that time is when we start every single day. And we do this every day to practice hip mobility, side splits, and most importantly, consistency. So if you like the idea of moving a little bit better, especially off the ground, if you like the idea of working towards some side splits, if you like the idea of somebody trying to practice some consistency here alongside you, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. You've been doing this for a long time. Hopefully, your hamstrings are feeling a little bit looser. I want you to really focus on bringing that belly button down towards the ground. Fold a little bit more. Fold a little bit more. Really come on down into the ground. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Pop into a squat, come back into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. We're going to move on to number 3. All right? It's called thoracic rotations. We're going to try and get this chunk of our spine to do a little bit of rotating. You can imagine that you're doing the motion that you need to do a little bit when you check your blind spot. All right? Most of that should come from your neck, but, if your spine is helping you, great. Awesome. Cool. All right, we're going to fold forward and get back into the position we are just in. So one leg is bent, one leg is straight, our belly button is coming down. From here, we're going to rotate. We're going to take one arm, we're going to stick it across, we're going to take it from the bent leg side, we're going to stick it across the body, push off the straight leg. We're going to push against that leg, open up our chest. We're going to stick our other arm straight up into the air. All right. Next, we're going to rotate our necks to look at that hand. We're going to reach backwards, but we're going to inhale and exhale first. All right, inhale, exhale, and reach. That's half of a rep. We got to do the other side to make it 1. All right, bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up, inhale, exhale, reach. That is 1 rep. Oh, come on back to center. Chill for a second. Do a little shake, relax your back, and let's keep going. We got 5 of these in total. We're going to do number 2 right now. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Inhale, look at the hand. Exhale, and reach. That's 2. Other side. Still 2. Keep going. Inhale, exhale. Reach. That's 3. Other side. Inhale, exhale. Reach. You can take a little bit longer on these. You don't have to go at the same pace I am. I talk a lot. This moment right here, that's the moment you could be spending stretching. Okay? Don't worry about keeping up. Just take your time. Enjoy the stretch. All right? Inhale, exhale, and reach. That's 4. And 4 again. Last one. 5. Inhale, exhale, reach. Whew. All right, that is some thoracic rotation. Hopefully, your back is feeling a little bit looser. Your shoulders, your delts might be a little bit tired. That's okay. We don't really need them for much else. All right, so they'll be normal in a little bit. Next, we're going to move on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. It's called the Cossack switch. It looks a little bit like this. We're going to, and you don't have to join in. I'm just demonstrate real quick. All right, we're going to drop into a bit of a squat on one leg, and we're going to basically do a side split looking thing on the other leg. And once we are here, we're going to get as low as we can. If you're first starting out, you might be a little bit higher up. It's totally fine. Wherever you are, just try your best to get as low as you can. And once you are as low as you can get, we're ready to continue. Next step, bring your butt over to the other side. All right. If you're low to the ground, you might be able to stick your hands down on the ground, help waddle your butt over, and boom, here we are. Once you're here, we're going to pause. We're going to try and sink. We're going to get a little deeper, and then we're going to come back. That is the whole thing. All right. That's the whole thing. Before we get into those, though, we're going to warm up our knees, we're going to warm up our ankles, we're going to warm up our hips a little bit so that we can prepare ourselves for the intensity of the Cossack switch. Everybody join back on in. We're going to do some squats, all right? Pull up the pants, Squat on down. Come on, nice and low. And if your heels are off the ground, that's a-okay. That's going to give you a better Achilles tendon stretch and a better calf stretch. All right. Try to bring your chest down to your knees. Pull them in like you're doing a little cannonball, jumping into a pool, into a pond, into a lake, into the ocean. And chill, breathe. Inhale, exhale, hang out. Once you found a comfortable-ish position for a little bit, we're going to add some movement. All right. What I want you to do is try your best to push one knee down towards the ground. Nice and slow, nice and controlled, nice and gentle. And bring it back up. Boom. Other leg. Down. And bring it back up. It's okay if your hips are rotating a little bit to help you come down. That's fine. Don't worry about it. And just do a couple of these. If you feel like you lose control and you suddenly start, boom, slamming your knee into the ground, try not to go so far. Go right before you lose control and practice that end range of motion a little bit. Go. Go. All right. What else we got? We're gonna open up our legs out to either side a little bit. All right. I want you to open up one leg, that away. I want you to open up the other leg, that away. I want you to bring everything back in. Great. One leg, bring it back in. Both at the same time. Pose, look cool, and bring it back in. Now that your ankles and your knees are tired, let's move on into some Cossack switches. All right. I'm gonna scoot over here. You don't have to move because you don't have to demonstrate what you're doing to anybody. And I'm gonna try and get to the very edge of the screen so you can see what I'm doing. All right. I want you to stick your hands straight down into the ground, and I want you to extend one leg out. Plant this heel down flat for stability and get as low as you can. If you're higher up, perfectly fine. If you're a little lower, great. If you're low enough to put your hands on the ground, use them to scoot your butt over to the other side. Once you're there, sink a little bit lower, breathe, and come on back. That's one. We're going to keep going. Come on back. And back again. That's two. Keep going. And going. That's three. If at some point you realize you're strong enough to continue without your hands, feel free to continue without your hands. That's four. And five. If you want to make this a little bit more difficult for yourself, you can try to sit up a little bit straighter. That's six. Try to lengthen your spine, pop your head straight into the ceiling. You're going to feel way more pressure in your low back. Stick your arms out to counterbalance and keep going. Across, sink into it, and back. Sink into it. That's seven. If your knees are getting a little achy, a little bit uncomfortable, instead of trying to stay as low as possible when you go across, see if you can come up a little bit, then slide across to the other side, and then come on down. Up, across, and down. I think that's eight. Let's go. Up, across, and down. Up, across, and down. Last one, we're going to do some squats. All right. I want you to power through this leg. Boom. Come back into something that looks like standing-ish. And then slowly come down on the other side. Sink into it. Then boom. That's 10 Cossack switches, Cossack slidey things, Cossack squats. We are done with our warm-up exercises. This is where we transition into the heart of our show. If you're new to this and you're like, what the heck, that was the warm-up? Don't worry. This is a 45 to 60-minute long side splits and hip mobility show. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're going to continue doing a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, a little less awful, so that it's easier to stay consistent with. All right? If you like side splits, hip mobility, consistency, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and let's talk about our next thing. We're doing some hamstring stretches. That's stretch number one. All right? What I want you to do before we continue is grab a little bit of padding for your knee. Doesn't have to be fancy. If you have an old dirty towel, dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it on your knee, you're good to go. If you have old flip-flops, stick it on your knee, you're ready to go. Okay? From here, what we're going to do is we're going to try and make this straight line from the knees to the hips, hips to the shoulder, shoulder to the head, nice and straight and upright. All right? We're going to extend one leg out in front, and this is how we set up our hamstring stretch. All right? I want you to keep that nice straight up and down line, and then I want you to fold your belly button down to your thighs. All right? Let's go. Fold, 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 fold some more, fold again, keep folding. Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, stop, inhale and relax. All right? Inhale, relax. Oh. Let your body drape over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg and see if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Next, we're going to add a little bit of movement. All right. I want you to stick your hands out to either side for a little bit of balance support. Then I want you to bend your knee. Then I want you to bring your chest down to that knee. I want you to hold your chest there nice and low as you can get it. Then I want you to try to straighten out your leg again. That's one. We're going to do 5 of these. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. 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 You just want to try your best to touch your knee to your chest. You don't have to actually come up into a full knee bend to, like 90 degrees and then just touch your chest down. Try to fold lower and lower and lower. So bend your knee less and less and less and less if you can. All right. That's 5. From here, we're going to start getting a little deeper. All right. We're going to go inhale, big breath in. We're going to slowly exhale and we're going to fold a little bit deeper. We're going to focus on bringing the belly button down to the ground. All right. Let's go. Big inhale. Big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Whew. That is our stretch. Now that you're here in a much deeper position, your legs are feeling crazy, we're going to inhale, relax. Inhale. Let your body drape over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg. Same thing as before. We're adding some movement. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Again, you don't have to bend the knee so much. As you get deeper and deeper into this, feel free to just focus on folding forward. Once you've done a whole bunch of those, we're going to get a little bit deeper. Let's go. Big inhale, exhale, and fold. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Come on down. Woo. Once you're as deep as you can get for now, we're going to inhale, relax. Ready? Let's go. Inhale. Relax. Flop over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Oh, man. Woo. These are optional. You can bend the knee, bring the chest down if you want. You don't have to. Knee, chest, down, knee, chest, down, knee, chest, down, knee, chest, down, knee, chest, down. And we're going to hold here for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Holding your breath is not going to help your muscles relax. 21, 20. If you're feeling some tension in the knee, your knee is uncomfortable, you can give it a slight bend. That's going to take tension off your knee and your hamstring stretch. But if it's, too much relief, you can always focus on bringing your chest down to the hamstrings or chest down to the thigh first and then straightening out your leg at the very, very, very end so that you can get as much stretch as possible before the knee pain starts. Cool? Otherwise, if the knee pain has just gone away, it's like, a little temperamental, then just find a way to do it without knee pain. Cool? All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. We're done. That is one leg. Bring the knee in underneath you. Squat, or not squat, kneel. Get that straight line. Knees to the hips, hips to the shoulders, shoulders to the head. Oh, it might take a second for those muscles to activate. So really actively contract your glutes like somebody's about to spank you. All right? Clench the butt. Clench your abs. Ugh. Get really strong in this plank looking position. And you can relax now. All right? We're going to get right back into hamstring stretch number 2. Extend one leg out in front of you. Make sure you find a nice comfortable position to balance in. And let's get ready to fold that belly button down to the thigh. Ready? Let's go. Fold. Ooh. As soon as you get stuck, inhale, relax. Inhale. Let your body flop over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Oh, man. Flop over that leg. Add some movement. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. 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 Once you've done about 5, it's time to get a little bit deeper. Y'all ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring the belly button down, 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 down. Woo. Once you get stuck, inhale, relax. Inhale. Let your body flop over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Let your body flop over that leg. We're going to do the knee bends and straightens one more time. Let's go. Inhale. Or sorry, knee bend. Chest down. Straighten it out. Knee bend. Chest down. Straighten it out. Knee bend. Chest down. Straighten out. That's 3. Knee bend. Chest down. Straighten out. That's 4. Knee bend. Chest down. Straighten it out. And let's get a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. Let's go. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. Exhale. Oh, inhale, relax. Let your body drape over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Let your body drape over that leg and back to the knee bends. These are optional. Knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten, knee bend, straighten. I think we've done 2 rounds of these, right? This is the final one. Am I deep enough? I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention. I was listening to the dog make noises outside the door. I think we're done. So let's count down 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. Keep breathing. Relax as much as you can. Keep the knee relatively straight. If you're feeling pressure in the knee joint itself, feel free to give it a slight bend. Take some pressure off the knee, take some pressure off the hamstrings. You can still get a great hamstring stretch even with your knee slightly bent. It's okay. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Fold that belly button down. Just a couple more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Oh, come on up out of that hamstring stretch. We are done with stretch number 1. We're going to move right on into stretch number 2 is the butterfly stretch. I am finding that the floor is getting slipperier and slipperier. I need to sit down with some like Dawn dish soap and do a deep deep clean. The new uh floor mat things have like a layer of something on them that when you hold them, when you touch them, it doesn't really feel like there's like, clearly goop or oil or something. But the floor is getting slipperier and slipperier wherever I have put the mat down. So I definitely need to sit on something with a little bit more traction today because I can use this floor as a slip and slide right now without water. All right. For everybody at home, bring your butt up against the wall. Bring your shoulders, bring your head up against the wall. Relax in this nice flat back-ish posture and just chill for a second. Catch your breath. Don't fall asleep. All right, pull your feet together, pull them into your groin, and we're going to use our muscles to help bring our knees down to the ground. All right, in the butterfly stretch, the goal is to stretch out the groin muscles, the adductors. And the way we do that is by bringing the knees down to the ground. I want you to get stronger, so I want you to use your butt. I want you to use your outer thighs. I want you to pull your knees down into the ground using your own muscles. Pull. If you're new to the show and you have no idea what I'm talking about, that I just make funny voices, that is okay. Focus on 2 things. 1, you're feeling a more intense groin stretch. 2, your knees kind of just a little bit go down towards the ground. If you're doing both those things, you're moving in the right direction. You don't have to worry about the details. All right? Part 3, we're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure to the inside of the knee. We're going to push down, all right? For the next 30 seconds, as you breathe on the exhale, I want you to push your legs down a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, until you can't push down any further because it hurts. All right, let's go. 30, 29, 28. Inhale. Exhale. Push. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. You might be noticing that the back of your head and your shoulders are feeling a lot of pressure right now. That is normal. Your hands are pushing your legs down, and the shoulders, also connected to that arm, are getting pushed back into the wall, and the back of your head is attached to that shoulder. All right? 15, 14. Keep pushing. If you're still contracting your glute muscles, relax for a second until we get to 10, 12, 11, 10. Now contract all those muscles. Use those muscles. Pull your legs down a little bit harder while you push with your arms. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Oh. If your wrists are tired from pushing down, feel free to give them a little flop, a little shake to help them relax. And once you release that pressure, your knees most likely are just going to pop right back up to a more neutral position, neutral for you. And that's also completely okay, totally normal. What we're going to do next is shake out our legs, move our hips a little bit, and hopefully regain some control after all of that stretching so that we can get into our third stretch, the standing pancake, right? If your legs are flapping up and down, they're moving okay, we're ready to move on. If your legs are not moving, grab them and go, hey, hey, wake up, we need to move on. And do the same for the other side, all right? Hey, hey, wake up, we need to move on. And that should get your knees and your hips ready to go. Let's move on to our third stretch, the standing pancake. Whew. The standing pancake looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs decently wide. We're going to fold forward, bring the belly button down to the ground. And it looks a little bit like this. Whee! Before you continue, actually, if your hips are hurting for any reason, if you're feeling a pinching sensation, especially bring your legs in a little bit before you fold. All right? Fold. Whee! Whew. As soon as you feel like you get stuck, it's getting a little bit harder to fold forward. This is our starting position. All right? From the side, it looks a little bit like this. What I want you to do is find a nice solid spot where you feel like you're in control. You don't feel like you're slipping, right? If you need to change your flooring situation, feel free to find some place where the floor is not so slippery. I have already failed on that front, but just, ignore me while I slip. From here, we're going to fold our hips down, fold our belly button down towards the ground. This is the starting position of that pancake. The goal is to fold deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until your upper body is in between your legs. It is really hard, and that is why we do this version. So gravity can help us, all right? Our upper body is getting pulled down by gravity. And if you extend your arms past your ears like so, next time you exhale, you'll feel that pressure from gravity pulling you down. If you hold something in your hands while you lift your arms up, it will feel even crazier and it'll pull you down even harder. All right? Give that a try. Open up your legs a little wider if you want to. It is optional. You don't have to go that far. And let's go. We're going to fold. We're going to fold. We're going to fold. We're going to drop a little bit deeper. Bring the belly button down. Extend the arms if you're ready for that. And 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Come on up out of it. Put your hands down on the ground. Support yourself. Slowly bring your legs in. Maybe wiggle your toes, your heels, your toes, your heels, your toes, your heels, your toes, your heels. Bring everything in. Oh, back into standing. Slowly walk your hands up your thighs. Come on out of that stretch in. Oh, that is our standing pancake. For some reason, that felt crazy fast. I don't know if I was preoccupied by my feet slipping, and so my counting was off or something, but that felt like we did that really fast. Which is great because the standing pancake is by far the least fun stretch in the whole entire thing. Is my least favorite. But it's really important that you do them because you gotta get really good at that crazy amount of hip mobility, and the only way to get there is through practice. All right, we're gonna move on into our fourth stretch. It is the pigeon or the figure four. You got options. I am pretty certain we did figure four last night, so it's time for some pigeon today. Both have the same fundamentals, and if you are a regular, feel free to start with whatever version you want. You don't have to wait for me to do whatever I'm about to do. All right. Both stretches have the same fundamentals. We're taking one leg, we're crossing it over the other side so that we make this thing that kind of looks like number four. Hey, since I'm wearing pants, it's much easier to see the number four than usual. It might look more like a number 9, honestly, but pretend it's a 4. Next, we're going to lift the ankle up towards the belly button. We're going to bring the belly button down towards the ankle and fold a little bit more forward. When you're here, you should feel a little bit of a stretch here in the side of your hip. This is a glute muscle. You will also probably feel something in your hamstrings when they are doing some weird stuff like pulling the ankle towards you. And you also feel probably a little bit of something here where you're actually doing the folding. All right. Those are all normal things. So, what are we talking about? Leg is crossed over and it's kind of looking like this. All right. Get to the ground, get into that position. If you can do it real cool like I just did, feel free to do that. But if you're a normal human being, please just sit down and then cross your leg in front of you. All right. From here, we're going to find the midpoint between our knee and our ankle. It's about right here for me, right where the rolled up cuff of my pant is. And find the middle line in between your eyeballs, down your nose to your belly button. This nice imaginary line. Hey, look at that. Your hands and, or my hand and my imaginary line are pretty damn close together, all right? We're going to take that line and that spot, and we're going to fold. We're going to match them together. We're going to just keep on bringing them closer, 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 closer. And whew, that is our pigeon stretch. Congratulations. You know how to do one. We have some optional tweaks to add. You can have this leg do whatever you want. All right. I have it off to the side right now. If you want, if it's more comfortable for you to just bend it and keep it, you know, snugly adjacent to you, perfect. But there is a version of the pigeon stretch that looks a little bit like this. Once the leg is crossed in front of you, you can extend that leg back behind you in this position. All right. When you're in this position, you're going to feel a big stretch here in the front of your hip, in the hip flexors, and you might feel quite a bit of pressure on your knee because your knee is the first thing that's touching the ground, and your leg just desperately wants to not be in this position. All right. So if this is a struggle for you, we got a couple of options. The first one is stop leaning back so much. Stop leaning up so straight. Fold forward. The flatter you are to the ground, the less pressure there is on the hip, right? And it's going to be easy on your knees. You can also do this. You can plant your toes down to take some pressure off your knees if it's really bothering you, if it's really uncomfortable, right? And the third and final tip, where's my stool? Hold on. Ugh, I've misplaced my stool. Here is my stool. The third and final tip is if you elevate the front leg, pretty much for 99% of people, your hips will also come up. Unless you're insanely flexible already, in which case you don't need this tip. Your hips are going to come up and you're going to have way more room behind you and underneath you for your hip to come underneath so that you can still do your stretch without having all that pressure in your back leg. Cool? That is all of our information. Let's get into some pigeon. Cross the leg, find that midpoint, get that middle line to the midpoint, adjust the back leg if you'd like, however you'd like it. Fold, bring your butt low, and then fold your chest down afterwards. When you're here, I want you to melt into the floor. I want you to turn into jelly. All right? 30 seconds. Let's go. Melt. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, sink a little bit deeper into the floor, dissolve, melt, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. Now we're going to switch over to the other side. Again, we're crossing the leg in front of us, across the body. We're going to find that midpoint between the knee and the ankle bone. We're going to get that middle line down between our eyes to our belly button, sort of to line up with that midpoint between our knee and our ankle. We're going to keep our hips low, then we're going to fold forward. And whatever you do with your back leg, that is optional, up to you. Whew. Fold, sink into the floor, breathe in. 30, 29, 28. Every time you exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper into the floor. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep on melting into the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. That is our pigeon stretch. Slowly bring your legs together. Come back up into something like a kneeling, chilling, fun position. And we're going to talk about what we got left. All right. This is a side splits and hip mobility show. We just did 4 of our 5 stretches. The only one we have left is our side splits, right? It's called the side splits and hip mobility show. It'd be weird if we didn't have some side splits. If you've never done any before, don't worry. We're going to break it down into little pieces. You can stop at any time. But I want you to know we do this live every single day at 9 p.m. so that we can build some consistency, the number one quality, build some community, have fun, make the suffering that we do on the floor every single day a little bit more fun, a little bit more bearable, so that it's easier to stay consistent with. Remember, value number one. And I hope you come back. All right, hit follow, hit subscribe. We start every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I'm trying to see what time it is. It is 9:42, so we started 42 minutes ago. Cool? All right, let's talk about side splits. First thing I want you to do is grab a little bit of something to support your hands. That is because at some point, we will eventually get into a position that looks like this. All right, we're going to have our legs wide. We're going to have our hands on a little bit of hand support to help make our legs not suffer nearly as bad. All right. Why we need this, you already know. But how big does it need to be? Depends on you. All right. I recommend something that's about 8 to 12 inches tall. If you have a small stool, maybe a chair for a child, that might work. If you have a folding stool from Amazon that was $12, that might also work. If you have a coffee table, that might be a great intermediate position. If you have a regular sturdy chair, you could very well put your hands on it, but you could also rest your elbows on it. So anywhere in that range, from like 10-ish inches up to regular chair height, which I think is like 24-ish inches or something like that, 20-ish inches. Yep, you're good. So once you grabbed whatever you're going to use, could be yoga blocks, by the way. Where are my yoga blocks? I keep on moving all my stuff around for this show and the show before. I keep on misplacing things. You can use yoga blocks, stack a couple together. You can use a couple of textbooks, stack a couple of those together, and we're ready to go. All right. Next, get rid of it. We don't need it right now. I just wanted you to grab it so you have it. We're going to stick our butt up against the wall. We're going to stick our back up against the wall. The wall is our best friend. We're going to use it a lot. All right. So don't get too far away. In fact, we're only going to take half a step, a tiny little baby step in front of the wall. From here, we're going to open up our legs decently wide, and I want you to make sure your hips are comfortable. Do a little wiggle, do a little shake, make sure everything is feeling okay. If your legs are feeling like there's a pinching sensation here at the hip, stop. Bring your legs back together just a little tiny bit, and we're ready to continue as long as your hips don't hurt. Now, fold your belly button down to the ground. Whee! Ugh. If you're able to palm the ground, you might not need hand support. You might be able to do the show just fine without it. But for most people, you'll benefit from grabbing something. All right. Now the stool makes an appearance. All right. From here, I want you to rest your butt against the wall. I want you to have your hands on your hand support. Hopefully, move it right underneath your hips. And slowly see if you can wiggle your legs out a little bit further. All right. Doesn't have to be as low as me. That's not the point. Just see if you can get a little bit further. Cool. From here, you might be feeling a little bit of sensation right here in the hips again. That is okay. What we're going to do next is make sure that our thigh bones don't smash into our hip bones so that pinching pain doesn't keep coming back. All right. What I want you to do looks like this. I want you to take your feet and your knees, which are kind of pointing forward, and I want you to rotate your whole leg backwards 90 degrees. All right. So it looks a little bit like this. Boom. Your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. And we got to do it on both sides because otherwise it doesn't work. Other leg, boom, heels down, toes up, knees up. Keep your hands on your hand support and keep your butt resting against the wall. Find a comfortable position so that you can let your legs go a little bit wider. All right? Right now, you're in a side split. You might be really high in the side split, but that's okay. We are in a side split. All right? Congratulations. Now, comes the hard part. We got to get deep into our stretch. First thing I want you to do, just like I said, is find a comfortable position where you feel like you are in control. All right. A lot of stretching is teaching your brain that it's okay, that it's safe, that it's fine for you to be in a crazy looking position. So your body gets used to it, and so that lets you get to those crazy positions in the future. All right. If you are tense right now, if you feel like you're about to fall, if you feel like you're about to collapse, that is going to put a whole bunch of tension into your muscles because they're fighting to keep you safe, to keep you secure, and to keep you from falling. And that's not going to help you relax. All right. So try to find an almost restful position. It's probably not that restful, but find an almost restful position where your butt is supported, your heels are gently on the ground, your arms are holding you up. All right. From here, we're going to drop a little bit lower into our stretch. I want you to take a big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and relax. See if you can drop your butt a little bit deeper. When you drop down a little bit deeper, you might get into another situation where you're like, oh, I am not in control anymore. This is feeling dangerous. I'm going to slip. Adjust your feet, adjust your legs, adjust your hands until you get back into a comfortable, stable position. All right? And then we're going to continue. Inhale, relax. Inhale, relax. Whew, sink a little bit deeper. One more. Inhale, relax. Whew. All right. Not too much progress for me today. Do a little wiggle to the right if you want. These are all optional at this point. Do a little wiggle to the left. See if you can get just a tiny bit deeper. And if you are completely stuck, you're not going any further, it's time for us to begin. All right? If your knees or toes are pointing up, if the top of your head is pointing up, you're good to go. We're counting down 30, 29, 28, 27. If your elbows are completely locked out, your arms are locked out, give them a slight bend. Put some more pressure into your legs. Feel it in that stretch. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. If at 10 seconds you feel like you can do a little wiggle, get a little deeper, take it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Bring your knees in underneath you. Grunt, groan. Make as many sound effects as you need to. That is our first size play. Whew, if you're super tired right now, it's okay. It's totally reasonable. You just put yourself through a whole bunch of suffering, all right? And then I talked and explained a whole bunch of stuff for a long time, so you just suffered for even more time. That's my bad. But on the bright side, for version 2, version 3, because we're doing 3 of these, I don't explain nearly as much. And if I do explain, I go like 10 times faster, so fast you won't even know what I'm talking about unless you really know the show. So I hope you're prepared for that. Let's go. Come on back up into standing. We're going to shake out the tension in our legs. We're going to slowly come on up. If your legs are feeling like you're a drunk penguin, you're just waddling from side to side right now, that's okay. We're going to try and fix that right now. What I want you to do is lift your ankle up. I want you to give it a little shake. A little gentle, gentle little love shake. All right? Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. If you find that is comfortable, shake a little harder. Shake a little deeper. Cover more range of motion. Go left, go right, go back, go forth, go all over the place. Flop it around. Go crazy. And then go a little harder, go a little harder, go a little harder. Make sure that you're still comfortable. If you're going so hard that it's getting uncomfortable, your ankle feels like it's going to go flying off your leg, you should probably not go that hard. Cool? Dial it back. Chill. Once you've shaken out that leg a little bit, take a couple of steps. Hopefully that leg feels a little bit better. We're going to continue on the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Start nice and slow. Wiggle a little harder. Wiggle some more. Shake, 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 shake. And again, to whatever level you're comfortable with, right? You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go 0 to 100 just because I do. I've been doing this for a very long time. My ankles are very relaxed and floppy. All right. Whew. Put that foot down. Take a couple steps. Do a little wiggle. Do a little shimmy. Do a little dance. If your legs are feeling okay, especially compared to before where you felt like you were just stumbling along, that's a good sign. We're going to move on into our hips, right? I want you to put all your weight into one leg. I want you to put the big toe of the other leg down in the ground. I want you to point to that knee that way, way that way. And I want you to use your muscles to bring that knee in so that your knees are almost touching. And then bring it back. Push it out back that way. And then in, and then out, and then in, and then out, and then in, and then out, and then in, and then out. If you're new to the show, focus on that full range of motion. Really open up as wide as you can. Really bring that knee in as close as you can. If you've been here for a while, you've been doing this for a while, you can go a little bit faster. You can just do a little shimmy, do a little shake, have fun with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. You know what I'm talking about. Let's go. Other leg. All your weight on one leg. Big toe is down, out, in, out. We're just getting some movement, getting some of these muscles to move and hopefully relax a little bit before we get right back into side split number 2. All right. Again, if you're new, focus on full range of motion, building up some strength, building up some control. If you're a little bit more experienced, you can have fun with it. Do a little dance, do a little wiggle, do a little shake, and whew, one last final shake. Shake out your legs, flop around, wiggle, 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 wiggle. We're going to get into side split number 2. We're going to go a little faster this time, all right? But up against the wall, take half a step forward, open up the legs, make sure your hips don't hurt. If they do, bring your legs together, and we're ready to fold. Bring your belly button down to the ground. If you can palm the floor, you might not need hand support, but most of us are going to enjoy having it. So put your hands on your chair, on your stool, on your coffee table, whatever it is that you're using for support, and see if you can open up your legs a little bit wider. Rest your butt against the wall for a little bit of wall support, and let's get ready to rotate our legs. We're rotating the legs back 90 degrees so that instead of having the feet flat on the ground to go on, boom, heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. Other side, heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. Now that you're doing both sides, make sure you're holding on to your hand support. Pull that hand support right underneath your hips so that you can control where the weight is. We want it mostly right beneath you so that, you know, all the weight is stretching out your legs. All right. From here, do a little shimmy, do a little wiggle, find a comfortable position. I like to lean my chest a little bit forward, and that helps me find a nice balancing point. All right. My butt is against the wall. My legs are wide. My heels are down. My chest is kind of forward. My hands are straight down, touching my thighs. Cool? From here, we're going to breathe. We're going to sink a little deeper. Inhale. Relax and sink a little deeper. Whew. Chill. One more. Inhale. Sink a little deeper. Whew. That's 2. Do a little wiggle. If you have shifted, your feet have slipped, find a comfortable position again. Feel like you're in control. We don't need to continue until you found a nice spot. One more. Inhale, exhale. Sink a little deeper. That's 3. All right. Optional. These are all optional. You don't have to go further if you're already feeling a whole bunch of tension. Do a little lean to the right, little lean to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left. See if you can get just a little bit deeper, and whew, we are ready to continue. This time, instead of sitting straight up and down, I want you to walk your hands forward a tiny little bit so that your hands and your shoulders are right above and beneath each other. All right. When you walk your hands forward a little bit, your knees should angle at about 45 degrees instead of straight up at 90 degrees. We want to do this because it makes the inner thighs stretch a little bit more intense. And that's it. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27. If you feel like the stretch isn't intense enough for you, bend your elbows. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Throw that stool over off to the side. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. That is our second side split. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Chill, relax, cry a little bit. And whew, when you're ready, come on back into standing. We're shaking out our legs. Let's go. Whew, shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake some more. Shakety, shake, 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 shake. Other side. Shake, 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 shakety, shake, 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 shake. Remember, this is all about relaxation. And the reason why this is about relaxation is if your ankles are flopping and going all these crazy places, they're going faster than your muscles could ever make your leg like move, right? When you're whipping your leg back and forth like that, if you were trying to contract your muscles, you're trying to lift your toes up as fast as you can. I don't think you can go faster than your floppiness. All right. What that means is The muscles that would hold you back from being able to get into those positions have to be relaxed enough to let you flop into those crazy positions. All right, you're pretty relaxed if your ankles are going all over the place. Cool. All right. Hopefully your legs are moving a little bit better. Let's shake out the hips. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. We don't have to do that many. 5 or 6 is fine. Other side. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Whew. 5 or 6, once again, is fine. Plenty. But if your hips are still feeling a little tight, feeling a little uncomfortable, you don't feel ready for side split number 3 yet, do another hip wiggle, do a little shake, do a little shimmy, shake out your legs, shake out your ankles one last couple of times, and let's go. Side split number 3. Butt up against the wall. Take half a step forward. Open up your legs nice and wide. Prepare to fold your belly button down. Make sure your hips don't hurt. If they do, bring your legs back in. And then prepare to fold against the floor or fold to the floor. Belly button down. Whee! Whew. If you can palm the floor, you might not need hand support, but most of us, we're going to enjoy it anyway. So put your hands on your hand support. Open up your legs a little bit wider. Come on down. Let your butt rest against the wall. Find a decent, comfortable position where you feel like you're in control. And let's rotate those legs. We're rotating the whole entire bone, the thigh bone, backwards 90 degrees and everything else that's connected to it. All right. So your feet and your toes and your knees and all that stuff. Those are going too. Boom. Heels are down. Knees are up. Toes are up. Other side, boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Put your hands on your stool, rest your butt against the wall, pull your arms basically right to your thighs so that you are as contained as possible. The more of your body weight is directly up and down of your split, the easier it will be to balance. All right. If you're leaning super far forward, you might like flop forward. If you lean too far back, you might flop backwards, but the wall is there to protect you. If you are trying to balance your weight right, nice and straight up and down, it's going to be a lot easier to hold that balance. Cool? Find that comfortable spot. Inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper. One more. Inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper. Should we do another one? I think we should do another one. Inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper. All right. These are all optional. Do a little lean to the right if you want to. Do a little lean to the left. See if you can do a little bit more. If you're completely stuck, feel free to stop. We are in position for some more side splits. All right, you got options. You can do the first one that we just did with, or sorry, the first one that we did where our toes and our knees are pointing straight up and our head is pointing straight up. You're going to feel it more in your hamstrings. You can do the second one where you look like you're in a push-up position. You're going to feel it more in your inner thighs. Which one you do is up to you. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If there's any version of the stretch where you feel like it's not hard enough, it's not strong enough, you're not feeling intense enough, bend your elbows, let more weight drop onto your legs. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our third and final stretch. Walk your hands forward, bring your legs in underneath you, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to, and that is our third and final side split. Whew. When you're ready, come on back into standing. Let's shake out those legs a final time. Shake, 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 shake. Shakety, shake, 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 shake. Remember, the goal is relaxation. I choose to start with the ankle because it's real easy to see if your ankle is flopping all over the place and relaxed. If you want to do this a little bit differently, you want to combine both the things that we were doing, right? We were doing this in, out, in, out. If you want to do the in, out, in, out, in, out with your ankles all at the same time, feel free to add it in, all right? Just make sure you switch to the other side because we got to even things out. Shake, 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 flop, 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 shake, 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 flop, 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 shake, 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 flop, 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 and again, make sure nothing hurts. It should not be super uncomfortable, all right? We're not trying to pull a muscle and then make it impossible to relax anything, right? We're trying to Push to the point where we are super relaxed. Next, we're going to work on our hips. All right, I want you to put all your weight on one leg. And this time, instead of putting your bent leg and your big toe straight down, I want you to try to extend that leg out to the side. So you got this little triangle forming. All right, bend this knee slightly, just a little bit. And I want you to keep on using those muscles that we've been using. All right, bring the knee in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. What I want you to do is have absolutely no weight on this leg. All of the weight is in your standing leg. And I want you to move so fast back and forth in this motion that your leg and your thigh muscles look like they have turned to jello and your leg starts flopping all over the place. All right? Let's go. Flop, 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 flop. Other side. All your weight in one leg. Big toe is basically down. Leg is shaking it out. Shake, 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 shake. And hopefully your muscles are a little bit more relaxed. We're going to move on into some joint checks. And then I'll sit down, look at the chat, do some Q&A. All right? Joint checks. We're doing some hip circles. I want you to slowly work your way down into some deep, 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 deep hip circles. Right after side splits, I tend to feel it in the left and right side of the hip, and it's crazy. So take your time, work through some range of motion. Find anything that might feel a little uncomfortable, might need some extra attention, some love, and slowly work your way through. Switch sides, by the way, if you've been moving back and forth. If you're just feeling awesome, amazing, great, like nothing hurts, that's awesome. I'm a little jealous. Just keep on going in circles, I guess, for a little bit. Next, we're gonna move on into some high knee. High knee. High knee. Whew. If your knees come up, it's fine. You can move on. We're gonna do some calf raises from a squat position to wrap things up. All right. What I want you to do is have your feet about hips width apart, not super wide, not super narrow, just about hips width apart, shoulder width apart, if you will. All right. From here, we're gonna drop into a little bit of a squat. From the side, I want it to look a little bit like this. I want you to have your chest almost shooting forward that way. All right. I want your knees to go that way as well. I want you to bring your knees over your toes as much as you can, pushing that away. When you do that, you should feel a nice deep Achilles tendon stretch and calf stretch. You can poke to double check that it's all firm because of that stretch. And you might feel like you're about to fall forward. That is what we're aiming for. We want our toes to turn on, to grip the floor, to hold us down. And from here, I want you to put your hands down and do some calf raises. All right? The hands are down for support. Keep on leaning forward. Keep on feeling like you're about to tip over and come on up into a calf raise. Come up onto those tippy toes. Lift those heels. Come on down, nice and slow and controlled if you can. Up and down. That's 3. Do as many of these as you like. I am not mandating anything over here. 6, 7, 8. All right, that sounds good. What we just did was force our whole entire body weight to lean super far forward so that our toes were forced to grip into the ground, so the arch of our foot was forced to kick in to keep us stable. We had a crazy stretch in our Achilles tendon in our calves, and then we powered through doing the calf raise. Our quads were firing, letting us know that they were unhappy. Our low back, because it was holding up our body like this, probably was letting us know that they were unhappy too because they had to work so hard. And if you were able to do 75, 80% of that movement, chances are your toes, your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips, and all the muscles and joints in between are doing pretty good. All right. So chances are you're probably okay to go back to doing whatever else you have to do for the rest of the day. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility, building some consistency, and I hope I'll see you again real soon. All right. Your favorite margarita that TV says I did. Amazing. Welcome back. I saw your message the other day, and I'm glad you made it. I hope you enjoyed. Melcore89 says, I got to join your lives more. Awesome. It is live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Sunday. So this time, usually, we're wrapping up. But an hour and 5 minutes ago is when we're usually starting. Cool. Feel free to come back. True Blue over on YouTube says, Good night, everyone. See you all tomorrow night. Hold on, I'm too far away. I got a big light here to help light me up, and it's blinding, so I can't see. Chevelle says, "Thanks. Good night, everyone." You're very welcome, Chevelle. Souls and Matcha says, "First time doing these, and oh boy, this is great and hurts so good. Amazing." If it's your first time, it's highly likely you'll be a little bit sore tomorrow because a lot of these exercises, if you've never done before, if you tried your best, you probably end up in a kind of crazy position for you, right? That's a good thing because now you know what you're capable of, but it's also a rough thing because tomorrow your body's going to remind you that it doesn't want you to be capable of those things. And then you have to stick to it and keep training to persist and beat your body from stopping you from doing stuff because it wants to be sore. Cool? All right. That sentence was really rough. Really came out awful. Keisha says, shake, 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 shake. Yes, yes, indeed. A B C D E F G H I J K L. A B C D E F G H I J K L. Twice. Says, thanks, Ken. Thank you. True Blue says, good evening. Green R says, welcome back. Keisha is back. Welcoming the good, or saying good evening to the Splits family. Oh, man. Good vibes all around. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is all of YouTube. Let's see. Your favorite Margarita TV says, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm going to scroll and see if there's any questions from new people that came in earlier during the live when I was not close enough to be able to see it. Joe the Ho says, Kai, LMFAO. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Oh, me on trade? I don't know what that reference is. Travel Roxy is sending some information to Margarita. Says you can do it, take your time, and it's okay if you don't go as deep as Ken. Yes, absolutely. I've been doing this live for a really long time, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sessions. So if at any point you see something that looks crazy, there's definitely an easier version of it that is a direct, like, prior, I wouldn't say prerequisite, but like, a regressed version of it. And all the instructions still apply. Okay, I've been doing this show for a long time, from a much less flexible Ken to a much more flexible Ken. And talking about myself in the third person is kind of weird, kind of psychopathic. So just ignore that thought for a second. And all of the instructions should apply regardless of where you are in your flexibility. There's a handful where I take time to extra emphasize that if you're a little bit higher up, it's absolutely okay, including the elephant walk, including the Cossack switches, because sometimes the difference between being high up in this position versus this position feels so different that you don't realize they're basically the same. It's just a little bit more flexibility. But I'm pretty sure everything else is fine. The hamstring stretch, you're still folding forward, regardless of how deep you're stretching. You're folding forward. You're bending the knee, bringing the chest down, straighten out the leg. Your butterfly, when you have your legs together and you're trying to bring your knees down, that is going to be the same. What's third? Standing pancake. Standing pancake is really hard. That is one where if you're having trouble with the standing pancake, you can totally change the stretch for your convenience. Give me a second. I'm gonna grab another stool. Ah! I have another stool. I got a little stool and I got a big stool. All right. If you are brand new to the show and you're struggling with the pancake stretch and you're having a little bit of difficulty perhaps balancing the standing part of the standing pancake, especially when you're folding forward, if you sit on something really high and you find a nice, comfortable, wide leg position, and then you focus on folding forward, I'm not finding a nice, comfortable position. The edge of this stool is digging into my thighs. But you can still get gravity to help pull you down. And I guess since I do the live this way, I should do the stretch in the stool this way. You can still get gravity to pull you down and get as much benefit from the stretch with a little bit of butt support. All right, so you don't have to use your muscles to hold yourself up. That is going to be a great way to get you started, to get you comfortable in this position, to help get into a position where gravity can actually do its job and pull you down. All right. If you were to start with a seated pancake and you were to start on the floor, chances are a lot of us will get stuck like this. We'll be like, there's supposed to be a stretch here. Hmm? What's happening? That it's not a very helpful position. So you can experiment with a lower stool, and when you elevate your butt, you'll find that you're able to lean forward a little bit more. And when you lean forward a little bit more, gravity is able to pull you down a little bit harder, right? Same for this. You're able to lean forward way, 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 way further. Gravity does a lot more heavy lifting, and you get into a deeper stretch. So the standing pancake, I think, might be one of those stretches where I could talk about it a little bit more beginner friendly. So I'll make a mental note of that. What else do we do? What's the fourth stretch? Pigeon. Pigeon is going to be the same, right? Like when I demonstrate the fundamentals of bring that leg across, bring the leg up, folding your chest down. Doesn't matter how flexible you are. It doesn't matter how deep into the thing you can get. If you're here, you're here. If you're here, you're here, right? 5 side splits. Side splits are also hard, but I'm pretty sure all the instructions are the same, no matter what depth you're at. As long as you rotate the legs so that the thigh bones don't snap into your or don't stab into your hip bones. As long as you breathe and you find a comfortable, stable position, and you slowly let your body drop closer and closer to the ground, that should, in general, cover most everybody for everything. Cool. All right. I'm gonna keep scrolling and see what else we got in the older parts of the chat. Your favorite margarita says loveless. Oh, nice. Amazing. Amazing. Travel with Roxy says, welcome everyone. Michael says, yo! Welcome, welcome. And we're scrolling, we're scrolling, we're scrolling, we're scrolling. Che says, been here now for 20 minutes ago. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. Che's talking to somebody else. We know Chi. Sounds good. We got a whole bunch of people following. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you enjoyed the live. And I hope to see you tomorrow because we have another live in like 23 hours and change. Not even 22 hours and like 47 minutes. It's really soon. Tobias says, you're doing God's work, man. Man, that's very kind. AVX95 asks, how many times do you stretch a day? I usually only stretch during this live. So I try to save all my exercise for doing it together. Mostly because this live runs frequently an hour and a half, pretty much every single night already, and over 7 days, and on Saturday and Sunday morning. So today and yesterday morning, I do a bonus live, and that also typically runs about an hour and a half. So I do something like 15, 16 hours of this show or some version of this show a week. And what I mean to say when I tell you this is I try not to do any exercise anywhere else because I don't have time to do that much more exercise. Uh, yeah. So usually it's just this one time. Um, but I'd love it if I got another hour to do a little bit more throughout the week because I want to get a little bit stronger and do some other cool things. I have a wedding coming up in a couple of weeks, so I do want to spend some time getting some crazy cool dance moves just to crush the wedding. It's not my wedding. I'm attending a wedding, but it's my best friend's wedding. So I imagine I will be put on a whole bunch of random duties and tasks that evening, and it will be very important to come in with a bang to start the dance floor. So I need to practice my skills. I need to clean up my worm. I need to. I don't really know what else I need to. I need to do homework and figure out what I need to work on. Anyways, that is stuff I'm gonna try and find some time for. And maybe the Saturday morning and Sunday morning lives will be turning into dancing lives. That will be hilarious. I am in my 30s this year. I'm gonna try not to give away too much like specific identifying information. But I'm in my 30s. User 61306 says I'm old and it's way lower. What could you be talking about? Are you talking about the stool? What am I talking about? Way lower. What was I saying? What was I saying? What was I saying? I can't remember. I'm gonna move on. Stretch helps us to live longer. Um, it can and it can't, right? So there's some things when you get to a certain level of mobility, there's absolutely like no particular benefit to you, right? Like for most people, actually getting side splits probably not useful at all. There's probably no reason for you to get that deep. But having a certain level of hip mobility, being able to rotate your legs comfortably is very important, right? One of the most common reasons that people pass is because they fall and they break a hip. They go to hospice, and then 2 weeks later, they're pretty much gone. That's, I think, statistics. I'm not making things up. I think you can double check me if you want, but that's a very common cause of death. It's not going to help you live longer just because you're more flexible, but if you're able to get into more relaxed positions, it's plausible that you're able to bounce a little bit more, right? You won't be as stiff. It won't be as slow of a fall. I think it'll be a whole bunch of things together that help make you a little bit more versatile, help you make you a little bit more resilient to something like a fall. But one of the things that happen after you fall is getting up out of the fall so you can go get help, right? That super standard old ad with the little button is like, help, I've fallen and I need help, or help, I've fallen, I can't get up. I can't remember what the alarm thing was. Man, am I getting old? I can't remember the advertisements that used to define television. Okay, anyways, regardless, the point is, if you can get up off the ground without your hands, right? Say you've fallen, you busted up a shoulder, and you're like, oh no, I'm really screwed. I need to get to a phone. I need to get some help. If you can get up a whole bunch of different ways without using an arm, without maybe even using a leg. If you can just, have enough strength to get out of a position, to move somewhere, that's going to be really helpful. If you have enough grip strength to go really quickly grab onto the handrail on some stairs, you might be able to prevent the fall, right? If you're able to maintain enough fast twitch muscles, some explosive power into your old age for as long as possible, then maybe you'll never trip to begin with because you'll stick your foot out just in time to catch yourself, right? So there's lots of different qualities that you could be training for that might be more important than the size. Right? Having a little bit of mobility, being able to comfortably be on the floor, being able to comfortably move, and being not so stiff so that you don't fall like a tin man and just flop into the ground. That will probably make it easier on your body to absorb the hit. Right? If you're super, 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 super stiff, if you're super, 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 super tight, you're probably just gonna flop around and bounce. If you're a little bit more loose, if you're a little bit more flexible, you just go "oh," and you'll collapse into a little puddle, and that force will get dispersed throughout your body instead of being like a sharp jab into a bone, right? Um, I hope that wasn't too morbid. I hope that covers some stuff that often is. Oh, one super important skill that you can definitely be doing, and this applies to everybody, right? Especially if you feel like, oh, my knees are kind of achy, and this starts at like 30. I have achy knees all the time. It's step downs, stepping down like you're about to take a stair. All right, take them nice and slow. Take them with control. Keep your knees nice and straight as much as you can. Hold on to a handrail if you need to. Hold on to support, whatever it is. Make it safe. But that skill is probably the most common skill that you're going to need for the rest of your life. And if you spend some time actively, thoughtfully training it, even though you feel like, oh no, I take the stairs all the time, why would I need to train it? It's going to make a lot of difference for the health of your knees. You get to preventatively take care of the knees, but you also get to make sure your ankles, your feet are really good at stepping down. And if you're training for crazy positions, you get really good at this. Maybe you get one of those upside down balls that have a platform on one side so that you can like step on the blue ball side, or you can flip it upside down. You can step on the black plastic side, that balance thing. If you are doing the balance thing and you step down, then you're training basically the ability to step in uncertain situations. Maybe You're basically preparing yourself for when you trip on a route, on a hike. You're preparing for when you stub your toe on something like a really poorly paved street where a tree has grown some crazy roots and then the pavement has popped up in a corner and you just didn't see it and you're about to stumble. When you've practiced the movement of catching yourself, if you've practiced the movement of being balanced, if you've practiced the skill of just balance in general, those are all little things that can help to make sure you don't fall, you don't hurt anything, you don't break anything. Falls and breaks are really, really, I mean, nothing will compare to heart disease and the other primary things that people die from. But in the physical sense of what your body is capable of doing, preventing falls is probably the number one thing you could be doing. Cool. All right. Kim says, or Kim asks, any tips or stretches for back muscle rigidity? Are you trying to minimize the back muscle rigidity? Because I assume that's what the stretches are for. Alec 400 said, wish I had energy like the morning class is intense. And you mean Life Alert? That's what it's called. Ah, Keisha also said Life Alert. Yes, yes. Man, maybe my memory is starting to go. I don't know. It's scary. What's going on? Everybody's like, yeah, obviously, it's Life Alert. Minimize rigidity. Okay, so there's two parts to stiffness. One, if your muscles are weak, other muscles are gonna get really tight to pull up the slack. All right. It's sort of like when you get into an injury, something weird happens, and you start limping a little bit, right? Like maybe your leg, and then you're like, oh, you're trying to baby it. When you do that for a long time, and you're babying that muscle a lot, a whole bunch of new muscles are going to start kicking in and working overtime to make sure they're compensating for that weakened muscle or to that injured area. And when you do that for a really long time, those muscles are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And this muscle, if you don't train it and you don't focus on making sure that it's working how it's supposed to, it's going to get progressively weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And then you'll have all sorts of achy, weird imbalances because some muscles are really way too strong compared to the opposite and opposing muscle, right? A lot of this is about balance in the body. If one side, like for example, if your chest got really, really, really strong because all you care about is, wow, oh my gosh, what's wrong with my memory today? If all you care about is bench press, and you don't do any pull-ups, you don't do anything to develop your back, uh, there will be imbalances and those will show up. Your chest will get really tight and you'll get bunched up like this. Your back will get really weak and it will get long and you'll get into this type of posture. When your back gets really strong, all those muscles actually contract and pull you back. So you have to find sort of an even balancingness to stuff like bodybuilding. All right. So when you are struggling with back rigidity, it could be that you're hanging out in a position for way too long and your muscles are just stiff. But it could also be that something has gone on into some of those back muscles, and some muscles are just working super crazy overtime to compensate. Both those situations probably want you to build some strength in your back, right? So the hmm, how do I want to go about this? There's so much going on in your back, in your neck, in your shoulders. How do I want to tackle this question? The first thing you should always do is some cat cow. All right, cat cow looks a little bit like this. If you want to get into the floor version, the quadrupedal version, you put your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and you try to drop your belly button. You put an arch into your back. You lift your back, lift your chest, lift your neck. Try to look up and get that nice bend in your spine. And then the opposite part is taking your mid back and trying to lift it as high as possible, tucking your chin down to your chest and lifting, 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 lifting. I know this feels so good, but I have a problem of not wanting to do this in the morning. And every time I do it, I regret not doing it more and not doing it earlier. But I still don't want to be doing this first thing in the morning. So, if you happen to find that you love this and you want to do it first thing in the morning, please add that in and get a little bit of movement. Really try to, one vertebrae at a time, try to stretch out the back, both back bending and back rounding. All right. Once you have done a little bit of that, hopefully some things have loosened up. If you're feeling like your stiffness is higher up in the back, there's a couple of things you can experiment with right away, and that is going to be temporary relief, right? Stretching is only going to give you temporary relief until your muscles are about equally strong and can give you assistance. I'm going to hold on to the door knobs for this example. You can hold on to anything. You don't have to hold on to door knobs. You can use a door frame. You can use something heavy at the gym that you can lean back and pull against. I'm going to use the doorknobs, all right? And I'm going to hope that they stay in place. I'm going to be very gentle. If you feel like there's some pressure up here in the muscles in the back, maybe it's your shoulder, maybe it's like something weird over here. If you lean back and you drop your butt and you let your arms go over your head and you do one arm at a time, that should help loosen up some stuff. If you're feeling it here, you might be able to grab the same doorknob, maybe something a little bit higher, and you might be able to keep your feet closer to where you're anchoring your hands, and you might be able to lean outwards. When you lean your body away from that arm, that side of your body is going to get a nice stretch. So if it's a side thing, you can hold on to something and you can just go, oh, and lean out. If you don't want to let gravity do the work, you can also actually just bend. It's not that crazy. But if you're letting yourself relax into it and you let gravity do all the work, it might be easier for your muscles to actually relax into a slightly deeper stretch. Holding on to something, adjusting your feet, leaning back is going to have a whole bunch of different ways it can hit lots of different muscles. So I encourage you to actually just go experiment. Go find something really sturdy that you can hang on to. Lean back like this, lean back like this, lean back like this, lean back like this, lean back like this. Try every ridiculous way you can lean back, and it's going to start hitting different muscles in your shoulders, in your upper back. All right. So you can give that a try. For the low back, this morning we did some strengthening exercises for the low back, and they generally looked a little bit like this. If you don't have a gym membership, you're not going to a gym. If you are going to a gym, you can try some back extensions. Those are going to be really good for most of your spine. But the home version, on the floor version, I don't need this door open. Close the door. Whole door. Okay. Looks a little bit like this. What we did this morning was rest our heads on our forearms and focus on lifting the upper body. Do a little wiggle, plant those hips deep into the ground, make sure they find a nice comfortable position, and lift. Inhale, come on up, contract. Ooh, I'm feeling those muscles are tired from this morning. All right, lift, come on down. Whew. And when you do that exercise, you get a whole bunch of these muscles here in the low back really firing. It's the little bulgy muscles around your spinal column. All right, the bony bits is your spinal column, and to the direct left and to the direct right, those muscles work really hard. You can combine this with some leg lifts. All right, you can flex your glutes, flex your hamstrings, really tense those legs, lift those up into the air. Is going to work your glutes a lot more than it's going to work your low back, but it's also going to work your low back. All right, and the last main exercise we did this morning looks like this. You can lift your back and your front, so that is basically just your abs and your hips that are down on the ground, and that will help build a lot of strength in your low back. For most of us, especially if you've suffered a low back injury at some point and you've ever since been babying your low back, it tends to be the rigidity is because your muscles are weak. And because they're weak, they're just tensing so hard, trying so desperately to keep you supported that They're always tired and they're always making you really frustrated. So, could be helpful if you spent a little bit of time really working on those strengthening things. I know a lot of those exercises are really painful. They're really a pain in the butt, possibly literally because you have to flex your glutes, lift your legs, and they're not necessarily easy to do, but they're very important to do. All right. If you need to make anything a little bit easier, for example, the leg lift that we did, if you tuck your legs up to your butt and you lift like this, that'll make it a little bit easier than fully extending the leg straight. If you are struggling with this other side of lifting your back up, you can put your hands down and give yourself a little tiny bit of support. All right. You can still flex those muscles really hard, even with the hand support. So, ooh, that should hopefully give you a couple variations, a couple little adjustments you can make to help you get that going. Oh, I'm tired. Okay, let's see what else we got in the chat. Kim says, thank you. Amazing. Your favorite margarita says, he explains things well. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I like compliments. Brew Mel says, that's exactly what happened to me. My physical therapist recently said the exact same thing. Amazing. I'm glad I'm saying the same thing as your physical therapist because that makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about. Kim says, yes, minimize. Gotcha. Okay. Um, I just scrolled back to where Alec was reminding me what Life Alert was called. And over on YouTube, that is still the last thing that Keisha has said to me. So I think we are all wrapped for today. This live has run for 90 something minutes. So I'm ready to wrap. We actually, no, we definitely did. We probably broke 20,000 followers on TikTok at some point during this live. So thank you everybody for being here and being a part of the live. Thank you for being part of the community. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I try to bring really good energy. I hope that you enjoyed the live. I hope you enjoy the idea of consistency. I hope you enjoyed the motivation. I hope you enjoy the side splits and hip mobility stuff. Cool. Um, in general, things have been going pretty well. I think we're gonna hit probably 8,000 subscribers on YouTube in the next week or two, probably, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we broke 7,000 on Instagram yesterday, the day before yesterday, something like that. And things are growing nice and fast on a bunch of different platforms. Instagram was stuck at like under 2,000 until like 3 weeks ago. So we gained like, I can't do math. That's 5,000 followers in the last couple of weeks. So that has felt really crazy because Instagram has been the lowest growth the whole entire time that I've been doing social media. And it was the platform I started first on. So now that it's suddenly starting to catch up to YouTube, I'm like, wait, what? What what have we learned? What's happening? I don't know. Anyways, so I just wanted to let you know, little social media thing update. And I hope you guys know that I appreciate you all being here and being part of the journey. Cool. Alex says, well done. Gives a thumbs up. Che says, we sharing more. Yeah, thanks, Che. Che literally shares the YouTube and the words. Che literally reposts this live like every single day, and I get a little message from him sharing a little bit of highlights of the live. And every time I see myself talk, I'm like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. This is why I don't watch the lives over. But I hope you guys are enjoying the live. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow because we got lives every single day of the week, Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that means that's in like 10 and a half hours. So thank you, Che, for the support. I appreciate it, truly. And Margarita is going over to YouTube to make sure she subscribes. Hopefully, we'll hit 8,000 a little bit faster. I'm trying to put out a whole bunch of videos. My girlfriend and I are trying to put out a whole bunch of videos to celebrate hitting 7,000. And making celebration videos that are not boring is really hard. So we have to do like 3 of them now. Okay. Anyways, I think that's what we're going to do after this. So work is not over. We're going right back to work, except it's more fun work. Cool? All right. That's it. I gotta go do work now. Goodbye. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Have a great rest of your weekend.